Hi guys, Jess here again. Today we're going to do green chutney. Now I've looked in all the recipe books today, because I often do look in a recipe book to get some idea. I don't think I've ever followed a recipe from beginning to end, but I do look to see what might tickle my fancy, you know. And I've been sat there looking at the green chutney recipes, and really nothing excited me, to be honest. I thought, oh god, they're all going to be the same old brown stuff again, boiled to death, and all the usual ingredients are in there. And I've got a load of green tomatoes off of my tomato plants that any of you that have seen my container vegetable gardening blog will know that I've had a bumpy year this year, but it's October now. So I think, you know, it's only fair that they're starting to give up. So I thought I'd get all the green tomatoes off and make some green chutney. And like I said, I couldn't come up with anything. So we're going to go right from scratch today. Bit of an experiment, and we'll see how it goes. I thought, what do I want to do with these green tomatoes? And I had a thought, why not something sort of South Mediterranean, only I mean the other side of the Mediterranean, so North African. Moroccan sort of flavours. I thought, why not? Let's have a go with something Moroccan. So I'm going to do a kind of the spices that go in a tagine to make a Moroccan flavoured kind of chutney. And I thought, well, let's be really radical as well, shall we? So I've got 1.5 kilos of tomatoes, green. Most of them are bright green, but there's a few that are kind of, you know, the orangey colour. I'm just going to chop up the last of those, and I thought, let's do something really strange. A lot of the Moroccan dishes use apricots. Apricots go really well with the Moroccan spices, so I thought, hey, instead of the boring old sultanas that people usually put in green tomato chutney, let's have a go with some dried apricots. So I've got 1.5 kilos of green tomatoes. There are a few sort of orange tomatoes, if you like. I've got about 1/2 kilo of onions. I'll just chop the last one of those, and I've got lots of garlic. I think I put 5 cloves of garlic in. I'll just crush the last one in. So that's 1.5 kilos of tomatoes, 5 cloves of garlic, 1/2 kilo of onions. I'll just crush that last one in there, and I put in 500 grams, 1/2 kilo of dried apricots. And we're going to see how it comes out, because I haven't got a clue. I've got a spare garlic clove there, in case we need it, if we don't think there's enough garlic in, but I think there will be. Put the last of the onion in, and I'll just show you what the mix looks like. Let me just give it a quick stir around, because it looks absolutely fabulous at the moment. It looks wonderful. It's a bit over full, this saucepan. I've been a bit over ambitious, but if you can just see there, let me get it so it goes into focus. Wonderful looking colours in there. So that's what we've got to start with. Obviously we're going to need our sugar. Now I don't want it to go all brown and horrible and just look like any old Branston pickle. So I'm not going to use muscovado or molasses dark sugar. I'm going to use white sugar, okay, to try and keep those colours light. So there's 500 grams of white sugar. And at the moment I want to put, I don't want a lot of liquid in there if I can avoid it, because the more liquid you have, the more you've got to boil it down, and so the more the tomatoes or whatever you're using to make the chutney go all brown. And so I'm going to see how little I can get away with. I'm going to start with 250 mils. I suspect I might need a bit more. 250 mils of white wine vinegar. So I'm going to pour that over the top. Okay. Pretty sure I'm going to have to use a little bit more than that. I might, for the top up, if I have to put another 200 mils, I might dilute that white wine vinegar a bit with its very powerful stuff I might dilute it 50-50 with water, but in my usual way I'll mess about with it and I'll come back later, tell you what I've done, see what the end product looks like. Of course we want chilies, no question about that. One whole finely chopped bird's eye chilli. Okay, I think that could probably be enough for in there. Now then, make sure all the seeds go in as well. Wonderful. Lovely stuff. As much of that in as we can. Now, we'll want a couple of cinnamon sticks. Obviously I'm going to fish them out at the end. Nice strong taste of cinnamon, break them in half, stick them in. A couple of cloves, not many cloves, just a couple of cloves. 4 cloves in there. And now we come to the real Moroccan spices, the cumin. Have a good old, nearly a dessert, I would say a dessert teaspoonful of cumin powder. There you go, sort of, that's a flat dessert teaspoon, isn't it? Of cumin powder in there. And about the same with coriander. Oh, that smells. About the same with coriander. Okay, perhaps a little more. Whoops, look at that, making a mess. Bit more coriander, because it's not as strong spice. There you go, so that's a good dessert spoon of that. Here we go. And ginger. Plenty of ground ginger. There we go. And another dessert teaspoon of ginger. There we are. And then I'm also going to put in a small number of cardamom seeds. Just a couple of pods worth, cracked. And the seeds put in. Cardamom is incredibly strong. You really don't need very much. It'll overpower everything if you're not careful. Okay, so that's 2 pods of cardamom in there. Right, okay, having made a fantastic mess, as you can see, over my kitchen top, I'm going to put that on to boil, bring it up to the boil, and then boil it as vigorously as you can without letting it catch on the bottom. Unfortunately, chutney's one of those things, you have to look after it. You walk away for 1 minute and the next thing you know it's caught on the bottom, you've burnt a bit on the bottom, and then it's useless because you can't stir it back in with a bit of burnt stuff in there. Ruins the entire flavour. So I shall be standing over a hot stove for the next hour, I expect, and I'll come back to you and show you what we've produced and see whether it tastes any good. Like I say, this is a recipe straight off the top of my head, so you know, it's a learning experience for all of us. So in an hour's time, I'll see you then. Hi guys, okay, I'm back after an hour, and guess what? My experiment has been absolutely fantastic. It's boiled down beautifully. I didn't add anything to it at all. You know, I said I might add a bit here, there. The only thing I did add is something that I should have added in the first place when I was talking to you, and of course that's the good old salt. So I added a couple of dessert spoons of salt. When I remembered, I took a little taste. I thought, oh god, the salt's not in there. That's a common problem for me. I always forget to put the salt in. Having added the salt, it's boiled down for about, oh, I should say, looking at the kitchen clock, I should think it was about an hour. I suppose it's taken 3/4 of an hour maybe. And I'll just show you the result. It is the most fantastic colour. If I can just bring that up to the camera, if you can see that without me pouring it down the sink, there you go. Look at that gorgeous colour on it, and it is absolutely delicious. It's got all those tastes of North Africa, and I tell you what, it's definitely brilliant, and it's got the seal of approval because my wife's just walked past, had a taste, and she says that's absolutely gorgeous. So if she likes it, it's got to be a winner. So as usual, I should put the recipe up on my blog site on mypicklesandjams.com. You'll see the URL down there if you want to go to it. And I suggest anybody who's got some green tomatoes awaiting something to do with it, that is a brilliant recipe, even if I say so myself. So until next time guys, goodbye.